Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, hey, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balderdash.
Hello to everybody.
Greetings.
Man, I'm feeling tired today. Oof. Hello, Miss Frosty Broccoli. Welcome. We are so glad you are here. Oh, shit. I just realized I need to go grab a pack of cigarettes. I'll be right back.
Yes, hello, Frosty Broccoli. I hope that you have had a good day. It's hot as heck here in Oklahoma. And honestly, I kind of just want to crawl back into bed and sleep. But Moira wanted to talk about the news, and I think that would actually be a better use of my time than lounging. So
I'll cigarette all lit up. I'll get the package open. So it's hot in Memphis too. Whew. Yeah, it's now 94 degrees at 7:19. Like, whew.
Yeah, I went ahead and walked my dog, and it was just so friggin' hot. But I've been just letting her out in the backyard, and I feel kind of guilty about that, so I wanted to walk her today. But it was hot. And
yeah.
She's a hot dog, laying down in the shade in the living room-ish place.
I'm not even personally. Oh, hello, Colette. How are you? Oh, I try to click on that and do more. Hello. Oh, another cat. Nice.
Yay.
Hello, Unhinged. How are you, Sugar? Ah, lovely to have y'all here. We're about to gear up. See how fast I can get through all this. I feel tired, and I'm like, I don't know.
I understand.
Well, this headline got my attention. Charlemagne the God predicts Thursday debate will be bad for Biden. Isn't that a singer?
I think so. I'm kind of behind the times, but
Me too.
Why are we? I mean, I understand why you're doing it, but why is Fox even talking to Charlemagne the God about politics? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look real quick because I'm like, the name sounds familiar, but I don't really know who this person is. So I feel like we're living in idiocracy where we're asking celebrities these things.
Yeah.
He's a radio personality. Oh, okay.
Oh. So that shows how far behind the times I am.
Right? I feel terrible. I thought it was a singer or a performer or something. I mean, I get
makes a little more sense.
Okay, professionally known as Charlemagne the God, or simply Charlemagne, is an American radio host, television personality, and comedian. Well, comedians oftentimes do have their ear to the ground about what's going on in the world.
That's true.
He is a co-host of nationally syndicate radio show Breakfast Club. Okay, wow, I did not. Apparently, he used to be a Jehovah's Witness turned Muslim, which probably the Muslim part is probably more fun than Jehovah's Witness. At least Muslims get to party.
Yeah.
But okay. So he's written a few books and everything. I thought they were asking singers their opinion. And I'm like, why are we asking singers their opinion? Now I feel bad. Like, apparently this man has written a few books, at least 3 that I'm seeing here. Maybe even 4 because I can't tell what that is. But okay, so he's written 4 books. All right. And all right. My bad. If you're out there, my bad, Charlemagne. I'm sorry. I'm old. I didn't know who you were.
Yeah, I think I've got him on speed dial here. He's pretty upset with us both.
I will send him a fruit basket with my apology.
Yes. A basket of muffins,
Oh yeah, like little muffins and whatnot. Not sure what he likes, so we'll probably chocolate chip muffins, blueberry muffins, and some banana bread muffins, just to cover the bases. Anyway, Charlemagne the God predicted that the presidential debate was going to be bad for Biden. Honestly, you could shake a magic 8 ball and know that was going to be bad for him because Biden's a dumbass. and suggests that the muted microphones might not work to the president's advantage. Oh no, muted? What? The rules for Thursday's debate between Biden and former President Trump include muted microphones outside their speaking time. Okay, that does make sense. That way they can't interrupt each other. Okay. No live audience. Boo. Although, I mean, I'm bad at talking in front of like standing in front of a room full of people, so like, it does, and I guess it's not okay. And besides, more people are going to be seeing it on TV anyway. But no pre-written notes. Ooh, shit.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for everybody.
That is tough, man. I would have a hard time doing a debate or anything else if I didn't have pre-written notes, just because my brain just bounces all over the place, all ADHD like. I need something to keep me on track. So, fuck. So yeah, that's tough. And no consulting with campaign aides during breaks. Well, isn't that what they're fucking for? Like,
I thought so.
I mean, damn. But I want to see how badly they both do. Because I mean, I don't know if I could do all that without talking to my people for a minute. Because I figured that's what the breaks were for, to kind of,
just like your coach
your notes. Like
taping your wrist up or something when you're boxing. Hopefully this isn't totally off topic, but what do you think of how the left-wing media is basically saying that all these videos of Biden are quote-unquote cheap fakes? What are your thoughts on that?
I would have to see them. I imagine that maybe some of them are fakes, but he screws up so much that I find it unlikely that they all are. Same with Trump. I know they do kind of twist things up a little bit, but I doubt they're all lying. With Trump, they oftentimes will take something he said, but they'll not give it any context, so it just sounds fucking crazy. Or like the way they'll cut through a speech, but you don't realize it seems almost seamless. So you don't realize they've cut through it a bit. So him implying that if we lose the election, it's going to be a bloodbath. Ooh, that sounds fucking terrible. And they don't play the part about it. Talking about the car manufacturers and shit.
Yeah, that was kind of my last straw from the left-wing media. I realize that we've got a narrative and all that, but at least make it
an honest one. Like, I mean, if they're doing something stupid, then by all means put it out there. Try Biden or Trump, that's fine. Like, I mean, I'm a Republican, but if we're acting a fool, by all means do show us. I mean, of course they've been doing that quite a bit, unfortunately. My party, I feel kind of like Reagan in that regard. Like, I didn't leave the Republican Party left me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel kind of that way. I think a lot of people 50 thoughts try to come out once. I think a lot of people, in a way, feel that way. I mean, they stay with their party because, like, what's the point of going to another one? But, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people do change parties because they're hoping to find something better, but it's all a corrupted mess anyway.
Yeah, I see.
And as long as you can kind of vote however you want to, like during elections, like I don't see the point in changing my party.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but I mean, I think even though I'm registered as a Republican, if I wanted to vote for Jill Stein or Dr. Shiva, I probably can. I probably don't need to change my party to do that. So there's no point.
Whoever's on the ballot.
Right.
I wish Oklahoma would let you do write-ins. I really do.
There's a few years probably where I would have trolled the shit out of them. I would have put up like Elvira or some fucking shit. Like, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, why not? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know her politics, but it'd still be funny to do it. Like, if I could have wrote some stuff in. Is he free or do they just transport him?
I don't know.
But I do want to know because all right, so he's on a plane. Is he like actually free to go? I'm actually worried about that. If he is free to go, that somebody's going to get him.
Yeah. Because
I mean, there's a limit how many times someone high profile can die in prison without everybody kind of saying something about it. So I'm worried that the same reason why U.S. government doesn't do anything out of the kindness of its heart. It doesn't.
No,
And
it
so
doesn't.
they've been after Assange and Snowden forever. They have been after them. And they're just going to be like, okay, no hard feelings. We're going to leave you alone. Oh, that poor man is probably going to have to like lock all his doors and, you know, grow his own food so they can't poison him or some shit, you know? Hello, Brett. How are you? Welcome, Broccoli. We are
We've
glad.
got both of the broccolis.
Yes. Let's see. I do want to look this up real quick. So let's go check this out.
Yes.
See. All right. All right. He's reached a plea deal with the U.S. Again, the U.S. is usually not reasonable. So, WikiLeaks founder has been held in prison outside London for the last 5 years and fought extradition to the United States. He is expected to return to Australia. Australia is kind of a mess in its own way, but
Yeah, it is. Or so I've heard.
he has
Anyway.
plead guilty to conspiracy charges this week as a part of a plea deal with the U.S. Justice Department that will allow him to go free after spending 5 years in a British prison. I don't think America forgives that quick. Assange was charged with criminal information, which typically signifies a plea deal, with conspiracy to obtain and disclose national defense information, the court documents say. A letter from the Justice Department official Matthew McKenzie to the U.S. District Judge Ramona Manglona, I guess, of the U.S. District Court for the Northern Mariana Islands. It's getting fancy.
That's where I should be.
Said that Assange would appear in court at 9 a.m. local time to plead guilty. Said the Department of Justice expects Assange to return to Australia, his country of citizenship. I actually didn't even remember he was Australian, to be honest.
I've forgotten that.
I hope he'll be okay, but I do not trust the U.S. government not to do something. They don't like to, I don't know. They don't like someone who snitches them out. All before the election. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that is. And maybe when they're done with him, then they probably might do something after, like, someone's elected. Depending on who's elected. But
I did watch that video. I almost sent it to you, but I fell asleep instead. But the video about more money than God, it was quite interesting. And what I loved was, you know how often a video like that will have, I guess the best way to put it, they'll over fantasticalize things. I know that's a word, but they didn't really do that. They mostly just stuck to the facts, and I loved that.
that is good. I don't know how much facts we actually get, but I do not like having reporters gaslighting and trying to bullshit me. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. They went all the way back to when the church sold indulgences. I mean, you could tell that they had a side, and that's
yeah.
I don't mind that.
I always found that to be the dumbest fucking shit, and I hope this nominated audience is not about to get upset with me. But it's like you're a person bribing another person to be able to get away with doing something as though that person was God. Mm-hmm. Like that's not good.
Yeah, and I mean no offense to any Catholics out there, because I know there's lots of good Catholics. Tolkien was a Catholic, but I just know that the church did some shady shit.
Yeah, it was a total scheme to get more money out of people by like, all right, you can go and have some indulgence, and just give the church like $5 or something. Like that's so crazy though. They're just doing it to get money. Like, hello, Sashi.
What was that? Oh, Sashi, the man from the future. How are you doing? We want the winning lottery numbers.
That lottery system is a whole other fucking mess. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. That is some rigged shit. Ooh. Eddie. But finish this part goes. Let's see. All right. He goes, "Do you want Trump to be interrupted?" Charlemagne asked, referencing the rules of the debate. "You're thinking about it one way. You're just going to let Trump go, and you can't jump in. And you 80-plus-year-old, oh,
Trying to keep
you,
up with
an
every single
80-plus-year-old,
lie.
trying to keep up with every single lie he's going to lay out. Are you serious? Biden's not going to be able to keep up."
Well, Sashi says that he can't give us the numbers. It messes up the timeline. I will admit, whatever they had him pumped up on when he gave the whatchamacallit address, the State of the Union address, he did a pretty good job with that. I didn't agree with a lot of the things he said.
Right, but he actually looked like he, knew where he was.
Yeah, he looked, if he was always like that, it wouldn't be very long and we could debunk this stuff. But man, and I'm going to do a stream about it tomorrow, so I need to go do a little more research. But I just think it's interesting that all these videos are being called fake.
Yeah, I find it unlikely that they're all fake and doctored. Like, that sounds kind of like some bullshit to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that some of them are.
Right, exactly. There might be some truth to it, and I think they know that, and so they're going to try to say that it's all that's all of them, just so maybe you would know which ones are the real ones and not.
I should have bookmarked it, but I didn't. There's a video I watched yesterday where they were demonstrating that it's done on the other side too.
Oh yeah,
the Dr. Trump videos to like. There's this video. It looks like Trump is feebly being held up by his son, and then they showed that was just basically an edited clip.
right.
It was really just him shaking hands with his son. So what I'm saying is there's probably some of this shit with Biden that is fake, but I tend to think that some of it's legit.
Indeed, I do too. The next one. A map reveals the best place to live in the U.S. if nuclear war breaks out, because I can't seem to read. I'm sorry. All right, so.
Where is the best place to live if nuclear war breaks out? I doubt if it's Oklahoma. Maybe if we didn't have the 2 Air Force bases, but we do. So.
I wish I could explain what these mean, because here I am. All right, target in a 2000. These are both the same. They're both target in a 2000 warhead scenario. Like they're both the same. They're both marked exactly the same. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
I don't know.
But yeah, that's like pretty much right where we're at almost. It's just a pinch to the west of where I'm at. That's not good.
Basically, your best bet would either be the Panhandle or maybe someplace in the southeast-ish.
I guess we could try making a run for it, end up in those little mountains right here.
Right.
Like, because the Panhandle is so flat and just,
Rubber, Kansas. Western Kansas.
But here it's got all kinds of mountainous terrain and stuff. I'd probably do better than that. Lots of shade, some rivers, all that. But let's see. All right, so it's saying California, warm climate, lots of water. That says Rocky Mountains, rugged, remote, and hard to find. Nebraska, far enough from nuclear blasts. Midwest, good place to build a shelter. I had to get rid of that part. Mississippi banks. I don't know if that's saying it's a good thing. It seems like a lot of cluster of mess around here. North Carolina, great weather and farmland. And then Florida, rural areas. So, like, I wish they would say something about Oklahoma, because, I guess just, like, right here, right near the mountains, I guess that's where we'll make a run for. It looks like it's going to get all kinds of wild, It's, like, along in that area. Don't know where else I would go. Let's see. As fears of nuclear apocalypse and World War III abound, some prospective home buyers in the U.S. may want to reconsider the location they're looking for property in. I wish I had the money to worry about that. I don't.
Yeah, I'm.
I mean,
I might be. I could probably move within the state, but I don't really have the money to move outside of the state right now.
right. Real estate experts have concluded that the places in America that are best suited for nuclear war. Man, I got that little hairball thing in. Dang.
Remote and rural areas with warm climate, access to water and farmland.
Yep.
And I mean, Oklahoma's got a lot of that, but we also would be a big target because of
Yeah, because I got Tinker. Yeah, Tinker's like 6 minutes south of me. That's not good, and that's not even. We're not even talking highway. I'm talking about like going out down to the road to Sooner Road and going straight down to the base. Like it's like if I don't have any red lights, I can probably get there in like 7 minutes. Like I don't want to be that close to explosions.
Yeah.
I don't.
Have you seen any of Fallout? I know that's totally off topic.
No, I've seen bits and pieces like when they were like everybody was watching it. I'd come in the room and stuff. I'd see a little of it, but
yeah.
there's like a head. Someone's carrying a head everywhere. It's kind of gross.
Yes.
I'm like, what? And then there's some guy who looks like the country western version of Deadpool running around.
Right. Yeah, I love.
He's got the right bone structure for it. I was like,
he's so cool. He's a great kind of a anti-hero sort of person. Frosty is asking if Memphis was a target on the map.
Oh, let me.
I think it was, but maybe not.
Oh. Trying to get it to scroll. There we go. I can't make it any bigger than this, sadly. So, yeah, there seems to be a lot of targets in this general area. It's it's not clustered as the East Coast, because what a fucking mess.
Yeah, the East Coast is just.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair though, Washington D.C. is there, so I wouldn't really blame them.
Yeah.
Like, don't hit Connecticut. My daughter's there. Don't hit that.
Right.
But yeah, this is a whole clustery little mess right here. So.
Basically, North Maine is about your only real shot.
Oh yeah, nobody wants Maine. I'm not even sure. Well, the Canadians might, but yeah, if you don't mind the cold and a fuck ton of lobster, this could be the place to run. But me, nah. Personally, I think I'm just gonna be like down in this area. I wouldn't really know where else to go. I don't yikes. I mean, a lot of areas up here, but everybody's going to be running to those.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like, I wish I could make it a little bigger, but I cannot.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm afraid for them it might be a bit small.
Yeah, it almost.
Right, exactly. Don't hit Connecticut. Exactly. Hi, BK. How are you? I've got to find that article. Hold on. I will drop it in the chat to make it easier to find. There we go. Oh, you're doing good. I'm doing all right. Like, meh. Oh, I hear the little puppy being taken out. Little sound of her little collar shuffling. But there we go. So there's the article for that. Let us hop over here. All right. So, all right. Langford's this twat waffle that we have here in Oklahoma. And Langford says Republicans are against tuck-down measures. I don't know what that is, but we'll look into it, I guess. Tuck-down measures is still not contraceptives and IVF. So there's talk around here that they're going to try to make IVF illegal. And I'm just like, well, dang, that's wild.
Yeah.
Senator James Langford in Oklahoma on Sunday sought to clarify Republicans' stance on contraceptive and in vitro fertilization, arguing that GOP lawmakers are not against these, but the less obvious measures include some reproductive bills. see.
Okay.
Democrats right, huh?
Oh, I'm just acknowledging it.
Right. Democrats right now are saying that Republicans are against contraceptives. They're against IDF. None of those things are true. None of those things are actually being challenged. Well, I guess we will see. All right. What Democrats are putting into some of the legislation are a little position pill in the legislation so that they can say, hey, you're opposed to contraceptives because we had a contraceptive bill and you voted against it. Langford continued, well, I voted against it because they also put it into challenge what they called Religious Freedom Restoration Act for the first time in Congress history. The
What?
Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993 prohibits any U.S. agency, department, or official from substantially burdening a person's exercise of religion.
Okay.
We would say your faith doesn't matter if you're a healthcare provider, whatever it may be, insurance company. Your faith no longer counsels that. Well, we've never done that. Pointing to a proposal in the contraceptive bill regarding gender-affirming operations, Langford added, so those little things that were talked about in the contraceptive bill, no one talked about.
They just put them in and wanted to pass them without any debate or talking.
I think both sides are
If,
terrible about that.
yeah, if we're to take him at his word, which I don't know. I
I
don't know
don't
him
either.
well enough.
He's a fucking twat. But
Yeah,
they
he's a
they just said,
politician. Yeah.
right? Yeah, fucking ginger lurch that he is. They said, they just said Republicans were against contraceptive and they would just ignore all the other aspects of it that were built into the bill that obviously Republicans are saying that's a bridge too far. We're not opposed to contraceptive. We're not opposed to IVF. We're opposed to those areas you tuck down. It's still a weird thing to say, tuck down. Like that's
It
still,
is.
yeah, like the fuck.
And good evening, Matt Cheatwood. It is good to
Hello,
see you.
welcome. IVF
Welcome to the jungle. Sorry.
IVF was thrust into the national spotlight in recent months in the wake of various landmark court decisions and legislative efforts. Langford argued IVF protected across the country, even in Alabama, where the state Supreme Court ruled in February that frozen embryos were children, and those who destroy them could be liable for their deaths. IVF services were mostly halted in the state, though lawmakers quickly passed legislation to address civil and criminal liability for IVF providers. I can see how that could be an issue because, if you go and you have like your little embryos on ice and everything, and then y'all get divorced and you guys decide you don't want them anymore, that's going to leave the company trying to figure out what to do so they don't get charged with murder.
Yeah.
Because
It's a can of worms.
that's
Yeah.
mess. Honestly, I think getting embryos and just freezing them seems like a silly idea. Like, I mean, get your swimmies and your eggs and stuff and just keep them on ice. Like, that's fine. But, like, why would you get the chemical reaction going and then freeze it? Like, I feel like that's maybe not the best thing to do. If they,
Yeah.
so if they just do the other thing, they probably wouldn't find themselves in any problem.
I don't know enough about the science, but I tend to agree. It's, I know it's a thorny issue, but
Oh, yeah.
but to me, just killing unfertilized eggs and
Well, I mean, no,
It's-
keeping keeping unfertilized eggs is like I can see that you wouldn't have any problems with it, but
Yeah.
if they believe that life begins at conception, and you got those little embryos in there, then life has started, even though it's put on pause apparently.
yeah,
So the company would I guess they would just have to have a policy that they're not going to have any embryos unless they are ready to be planted right then and there.
yeah.
That's about the only way they can avoid like someone's relationship breaking up and then being say, "Yeah, we don't want these anymore. Just trash them." You're like, "The fuck?"
It's definitely a brave new world. That's pretty much how babies were made in that book.
Well, yeah, that's true. So even though he's saying that IVF is not illegal, you try to I guess, cancel your contract after the fact, it could go into illegal territory. So
Well, Matt,
that's crazy.
I appreciate you, Matt. Take care of them goats. I'm gonna try and make it out to see him sometime in the next month or so.
Oh, lots of hugs.
Scheduling, it's always.
He's like, I don't want my swimmies froze.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there just
I
literally
don't
doing
think
dishes.
so.
Right on, right on. That out. All right, so we were talking yesterday. Matt Sheetwood brought up the fact that somebody was comparing cops to modern like slave chasers.
Oh
This
yeah.
this is the article that I couldn't find. I finally found it again. Yikes! What a picture! Wow. Good Lord.
That is.
Yeah.
I will just not comment.
He looks like an ugly '70s porn star. I'll say it.
It's like if Freddie Mercury just had no taste.
All right, Americanized version of Freddie Mercury. Like God Almighty.
Anyway, I'm no prince either, so you know.
Well, you're not. I mean, you're not. No, I'm saying you're not posing like this though.
No.
That's what I was getting at. I didn't realize what that
Never
sounded
see me
like
posing like
halfway
that.
through there. Sorry.
No.
But yeah, White House official Tyler Cherry is downplaying his previously social media post. His previous, I think that was the word previous. They put previously, but I think they mean previous social media post after his controversial views garnered widespread criticism. Cherry, who last week was promoted to White House Associate Communications Director. Why is there always a communications director? Why?
Why can't I be a communications director? I could do that.
Right? Previously called police the evolution of slave patrol. I mean, technically, he's not wrong. And called for abolition of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and supported anti-Israel movement. I mean, he's 2 for 3. I mean, he's 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Exactly.
No, but oh man, someone's gonna get mad at throwing vegetables.
I would do anything for love, but I won't pose like that. I have Sashi fooled. He thinks I'm sane.
Yeah, that's about all there is to that article, really. That's about it. That picture's enough. He's got like a suit like Beetlejuice, and then he's over here trying to give his Freddie Mercury impression, and it's just like, yikes, that's wild. All right, yeah, I saw this and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Let's dive in. It says Serbia is secretly increasing munition sales to the West, strengthening Ukraine's defense. At the same time, the country did not want to join Western sanctions against Russia. Putin is losing an ally. I mean, let's be honest. Are we surprised that Serbia did this? Like, do we not remember the early 90s?
Exactly.
Like, those fuckers cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
The British newspaper, the Financial Times, estimated that Serbia has exported 800 million euro worth of munitions to its Western allies since Russia's large-scale invasion of the Ukraine in 2022. These weapons then found their way to Kiev via third country. Serbian President Vucic, I guess is the best I'm going to give. Vucic called the situation a business opportunity. I fucking sure he did. I'm sure Slobodan Milosevic probably thought he had a fucking, business opportunity. Shit. At the time, Vucic stressed that he will not take sides in the war. This is a part of our economic revival and is important to us. Yes, we do export ammunitions, he said in an interview in the Financial Times. We cannot export to Ukraine or to Russia, but we have had many contracts with Americans and Spaniards and Czechs.
Oh my.
What they do on their end is, in the end, is their job. I need to take care of my people, and that's it. I mean, I kind of sort of sort of get that, but I feel like he kind of knew where those were going. And so I'm sitting here thinking, like if anybody is surprised, like
No.
Serbia had their hand in a genocide, and and there was an embargo that nobody was supposed to send them weapons, but there was a country that did. During that that Bosnian genocide shit that was going on,
yes,
Israel broke the embargo and sent them weapons, and the thing came up at the Israeli Supreme Court on whether or not they were going to release that information of how they were involved, and they said no, no, it could be not good for their national security or some fucking shit. I'm like, I fucking bet, because we already know you helped with weapons. I mean, that's already been out there. So, like, I assume if they're not releasing anything, it means it's even worse than that. They probably have boots on the ground helping.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's really the only way you can make it worse than already giving someone weapons to do a genocide is to actually participate in doing it yourself. That's about the only way you can make it worse.
Yeah.
So the Serbs are just fucking bonkers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, agreed. Sashi says that I'm too sane for the job, but not completely sane. Yeah, he would not be wrong in that. So.
Oh, hello, Katie. How are you? Our little British friend. I think she's British. Yeah, she is.
Oh.
I had to think about that bit. I remember there was a conversation on her live stream about coffee. And it was actually pretty funny because I guess she had instant coffee, which, I mean, I don't want to wait 10 minutes for fucking coffee, But he was like, do y'all have real coffee there? Because he was making fun of her. And I was like, you think they colonized the globe just for her not to have real coffee? Of course they have fucking real coffee. So, I watched an interview today where Alan Dershowitz, oh God, that guy, says he worked for Israel for years. He still does. He still fucking does. Wasn't Alan Dershowitz fucking Epstein's attorney?
He's been around for a hot minute.
And in the worst pockets possible. I said you're too sane for the job, but not completely got it. So Israel sent weapons. We sent them to Serbia. We sent them probably. They get weapons from a whole bunch of people. Germany has this weird. You do something wrong, and then you overcorrect. That's kind of what. So Germany, everybody sends Israel weapons because they don't want to look like they're not woke, I guess. So they don't want to be like, I won't be outdone. I'll send them stuff too. I'll prove I'm on their side. And yeah, with absolutely no thinking. Aw. Well, lots of hugs, Colette. I hope you have a fantastic day. He said it outright. Yeah.
Outlaw Bill.
Yeah, he was Epstein's attorney. I thought he was. Oh, meow, meow, Jedi Bill, or Outlaw Bill now, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. He had a little poll where he was going to let people decide which name he was going to go with. I forget what the other one is, but I thought Outlaw Bill just sounded better, so I voted for that one.
There you go. So he has written The Case for Israel, Icon of Evil,
What?
Hitler's Mufti and the Rise of Radical Islam, and Supreme Injustice.
The Mufti, it wasn't his Mufti.
That's his book, not mine.
Well, yeah. He would. Well, yeah, they just, the only people they hate more than Germans is is Muslims. Anyway. All right, let's see. So, all right. Rising tensions between Serbia and Kosovo. That was 14 hours ago. So we had that Serbian thing a little bit ago. I'm like, you know what? This just goes right fucking with it. So let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So Serbia, again, is doing something incredibly stupid, I'm guessing.
Surely not.
Oh, I know. How shocking. The complex relations between Serbia and Kosovo. Complex.
It does sound complex. I think I saw that on their Facebook profiles. Complex.
That's like saying that the relationship between you and your rapist is complex. It's not complex. One's an aggressor. One has a horrible history of murderizing and attacking and using rape as a war crime. The other one. So complex. Don't you? It's like when they say the stuff in Israel is complex. No, no. Politicians want their fucking money and they'll do anything to keep it. So it's not complex. It's about money. The complex relationship between Serbia and Kosovo remains a significant point of tension in the Balkans. Yeah, fucking bet. Rooted in historical grievances, yeah, ethnic divides, and geopolitical maneuvering. Kosovo, which declared its independence from Serbia in 2008, is still viewed by many Serbians as an integral part of their country. This sentiment has potential to reignite conflict in the region already fraught with historical strife. Yeah, I imagine so. Ah, here we go.
And Sashi is saying that meanwhile in Malaysia, a syndicate just got busted for signing people up for insurance and murdering them later to claim the cash.
That's
They were
damn.
using stolen data. That's fantastic. I wish I'd thought of that.
He is kidding. You sounded way too. You sounded too genuine when you said that. I'm like, bruh. Historical context: the Kosovo War and NATO's role. Kosovo's path to independence began in the late 1990s when tensions between ethnic Albanians and Serbians escalated into an armed conflict. The Kosovo Liberation Army fought against Serbian forces, leading to a widespread violence and human rights abuses. I thought it was in the early 90s, not the mid to late 90s. I really thought maybe there was some shit in 92, but I really feel like it was. Anyway,
Yeah.
in response, NATO intervened in 1999 without UN Security Council authorization, launching a 78-day bombing campaign aimed at stopping the humanitarian crisis. Dropping a shit ton of bombs to stop a humanitarian crisis. I'd have to see how it's done, but like on paper, it sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, it does.
The campaign resulted in significant civilian casualties. Well, I guess you can't have a humanitarian crisis if they're all dead. With around 500 civilians killed. Yeah, that sounds like a fucking mess. Despite the loss and devastation, NATO's intervention succeeded in forcing Serbian forces to withdraw from Kosovo, paving the way for the region's eventual declaration of independence in 2008. However, Serbia has never recognized its independence, and maintaining its claim over Kosovo as a Serbian province. This ongoing dispute is visible in the persuasive presence of the slogans "Kosovo is Serbia," which can be seen throughout Serbia, including predominantly at Belgrade's Nikola Tesla Airport.
Sweet.
So it sounds like there's going to be more fucking mess.
Yeah, I can't imagine that ending well.
Didn't really end well last time, don't think. And yeah, like there was so many human rights abuses going on over there. Like people were like a couple guys were dragged to the Hague. Like it was a whole fucking mess.
There was a movie that had what is his name?
Behind Enemy Lines?
Huh?
Behind Enemy Lines?
No, well, there was that one too. Yeah, that was a great movie. But there's
That
one
was.
with the Quaid, whose name I can never remember.
Is it Randy Quaid or Dennis Quaid?
The one that was in Enemy Mine and
Oh, that's right. That's Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
He's the better looking Quaid.
Yes. He played an American whose wife and kid were killed in a terrorist attack.
Oh wow.
And he went crazy and went into a mosque and like just started shooting innocent people.
Oh shit.
And
I
then
never heard of that movie. Holy fuck.
he was I can't remember the story, but somehow he ended up, instead of going to prison, he ended up being in the French Foreign Legion. And then he ended up over there. And yeah, I mean, the movie's confusing enough, but basically the situation was so screwed up that it made his life look sane and normal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. It was a wild movie. Very bittersweet. Hard to watch. I loved it, but I've never been able to bring myself to watch it again.
It makes me kind of want to check it out.
I wish I could remember what it's called, but
So this article is called "Pro-Trump Extremists Are Sure He Will Win, and That Could Be Dangerous." Everybody thinks their guy's going to win.
Savior. Yes, Sashi knows the name of the movie. Savior
Oh, right on.
was what it was called.
I will try to remember that so I can look that up in that little website I've got. Donald Trump has a history of fiery calls urging supporters to rise up, and his most militant fans often have obliged. Often? How often? I'm curious. But okay. They get together, wave some flags, and talk a little shit, generally.
Mm-hmm.
So it might seem counterintuitive that now, as Trump faces unprecedented legal problems, and now a close election in November, the nation is experiencing a lull in political unrest. In fact, one of the quietest periods that extremist researchers have recorded in recent years. So, they think it's a calm before the storm? They thought all kinds of havoc was going to happen when Biden got in office. And I mean, a little bit did, but it was very localized. And and even the government kind of accidentally kind of admitted they had a bunch of informants and agents in that crowd.
Yep.
And so,
did you read that Snopes has finally admitted that they lied?
yes, I saw that. I didn't click on that, but I immediately thought of you when I saw that. I was like, yo, I'm like, yep, that doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised they're telling us, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see it in the thing. It changes every little bit of time, so I might not see it. Chief among the factors explaining the lack of political violence. They're complaining about a lack of political violence. You see this silliness? God fucking bless it all. Trump supporters believe he will win the presidency. They always do. But,
Yeah,
Trump
our guy's
himself,
always going to win. That doesn't matter. If you're pro-Biden, he's ahead. If you're pro-Trump, he's ahead.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's hilarious. They're sitting here, like, explaining the lack of political violence. Aw, you just can't make anyone happy. Fuck. Trump himself has contributed to the certainty by insisting that the only way he can lose is if the other side cheats. I mean, we know everybody cheats anyway. I mean, we saw that video where Obama was admitting that they'd gotten their hands on the voting machines. And he said that both sides have been known to do it. So that was the most honest thing I think I heard out of him.
Where I would love to see that video if you know where that's at.
I can probably find it real quick. Where's my? Oh,
because I've not seen that.
I played it yesterday. I thought I played it yesterday.
Did you?
I'll
I
find
must
it.
have been in my own little happy place or something. I don't remember that.
Well, let me find it. It doesn't work. Oh.
Is that any better? I turned my mic up a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, you sounded okay. Oh, okay. I see why you were saying that. Okay.
I'm just trying to keep my voice low.
I haven't met a lot of them, but the ones I've met have always been nice to me. I've never had an issue with them. I mean, I know it's a numbers game. You're gonna find good and bad in every group.
Exactly.
Like I'm most of my time just happens to be around Christians, and I've had some problems with them. If I'd been around thousands of Muslims, I'm sure I would have had an issue with a couple of them myself, but it wouldn't have been because of their religion. It's just because I just didn't get along with them. But yeah, the ones I've met are very nice. Oh, hello, Multigun. Meow meow. How are you? And awesome that you had that ready. All right, so let me see. All right, turn my camera on. Where's my camera? Because I have it down. So, all right, let me see if I can get it turned up to make sure that you can hear it.
Whenever people are in power, they're. Well, I tell you what, it helps in Ohio that we got Democrats in charge of the machines. But look, I come from Chicago, so I want to be honest. It's not as if it's just Republicans who have monkeyed around with elections in the past. Sometimes Democrats have too. Whenever people are in power, they have this tendency to try to, tilt things in their direction. Well, I tell you what, it helps in Ohio that we got.
And the bottom of the screen says campaign 2008 C-SPAN.
Okay.
Actually, I probably should have made that bigger where everybody could kind of see it. My bad.
But that is cool. I mean, on one hand, it's cool that he's admitting that his side has done those things.
And it's so silly to see, that side going, no, the hacking can't happen. I'm like, do y'all not remember 2008? Like,
well, so this is the thing that I keep coming back to with my liberal and my conservative friends. Honestly, either it's possible that both sides have tried to hack the machines,
yep,
or they're unhackable and neither side can do that.
Exactly. It's funny how that changes depending on who's, in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I think that's just wild.
There's a beautiful debate that this libertarian, I wish I could remember his name. I wish Matt was here. He would remember the name of the guy. But he has this debate with Nancy Pelosi.
Ooh.
And she's still talking to this day that Hillary's election was stolen. And it was just a beautiful moment because he talks about, Trump should rightly have admitted that he lost the election, but then so should our opponents across the aisle admit that he legitimately beat Hillary. And she's like, no, she didn't. No, he didn't. And he just pointed at her. It was like, see, she's just making my case. I don't even have to say anything.
That is funny.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if you want to show your little friends that video I just showed, go to TikTok and put in Obama voting machines, and that video pops up.
Okay.
That's the keywords I put in. Hairball. All right. So Trump, let's see. All right, Trump himself has contributed to the. Okay, let me see. There's little reason for pro-Trump extremist groups or radicalized MAGA fans to demonstrate when they foresee a presumptive Republican nominee coasting to the victory over Biden in 5 months and positioned to enact promised retribution against his enemies in 7 political violence in 7. In 7 months. All right, so they're thinking he's going to win in 5 and retribution in 7. Okay. Well, I mean, we're out to get him, so it depends on what his idea of retribution is.
Did you watch the Dr. Phil interview with?
I did not.
I really loved that, even though everybody's like, "Oh, he just threw softball questions at Trump," and it's true. But let's face it, if I'm interviewing Biden, I'm probably not going to throw a bunch of gotcha questions at him.
Right. You try to at least he's trying to put on an air of like civility to the candidate, which is at least classy of him to try. Plus, he's got way too much skeletons in his closet to be pointing any fingers at anybody anyway.
Well, yeah,
you should keep it civilized. Oh, excuse me.
But, I had a point where I was going with all this. But, oh, yeah, at the end of it, Dr. Phil's like, man, I know you're tempted and you may even feel like you have the right to get revenge, but it's, it's really not the thing to do. This needs to end. We need to stop all this weaponizing of the Justice Departments.
But the other side hasn't.
I know.
They've been going at him nonstop. Of course, somebody's gonna, if it looks like he might win, they're like, "Hey, why don't we just get along?" And it's like, where was this when? I know you talked to the Justice Department like that.
Yeah.
But why? So, but Trump and all right. So polls are showing a tight race, but Biden and Trump are roughly tied among registered voters nationally, with Trump tending to hold small leads in several of the all-important battleground states that Biden won 4 years ago. In the eyes of many Trump backers, he is almost certain to prevail if the vote is fair. If confidence carries risk, experts warn that if Trump loses, the gap between expectation and reality could make for a highly combustible period. They're always making it sound like the Trump supporters are going to just like burn the entire country to the ground. Like, they always sound so dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, Now I saw this silliness, and I'm like, God help me. Biden campaign struggles with Jewish voters amid Israel-Hamas war abroad, anti-Semitism at home. Back to the truth being, racist or anti-Semitic, I guess.
Right.
President Biden is facing doubts from Jewish voters who previously supported him in 2020 as Israel-Hamas war rages on abroad and as mass student protests against Israel cause concern at home. But in these protests, how many Jewish people have actually been attacked or hurt?
I don't know.
I saw one, and I didn't even show that he was attacked. I don't know what happened, because you know how like someone starts filming like after the initial thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
So like it showed this guy just like on the ground, and people were like gathering around like what the fuck, and like someone was calling for help, and like someone had said that the Jewish guy had come up and pushed one of the pro-Palestinian protesters, and he pushed the guy back, and the guy fell and bumped his head, and he was kind of an elderly guy. So I'm like, so it's possible someone's knee-jerk reaction being pushed is to push somebody back without thinking what was going to happen. And that was like kind of early on, but I haven't heard much since. So I don't. Let's see. I've had a couple of people say point blank, how could any Jew vote for a Democrat? Like, dang, a lot of them are taking the AIPAC money, so I don't know why they're saying it that way. But again, I think it's going back to political melodramatics. Right. I'm not so concerned about Jews who may vote for Trump, he continued. I'm more concerned about those who may vote for a third-party spoiler candidate or not vote at all. Honestly, I think that's all of us.
Yeah.
Calls for a ceasefire in Israel-Hamas war and the wave of anti-Israel protests. I'm glad they're at least calling it anti-Israel, not like, because, they're claiming it's anti-Semitic, but it's like, there's people, I don't know, I've protested what our country is doing.
Anti-Jewish, you're anti-Israeli government. So.
Exactly. I would be, if, like Scotland and Ireland was going around killing a bunch of people, I'd be protesting against them too. And that, and that's, my family's from there. But I'd be protesting them if they were acting like that.
Exactly.
So it's not like, I'm picking on Jewish people. No, I'm not. I've never once said I didn't like Jewish people. Never. I don't have any problem with any of them. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Or at least not for them being Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
I should clarify that. I mean, if someone is being shitty, then I have a problem with them. It's not for anything other than being shitty. So, calls for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas Hamas war and a wave of anti-Israel protests at colleges and even sporting events across the country have divided the wings of the Democratic Party, undermining unified support for Biden. Well, kind of good though, because I mean, I'm so tired of like the Democrats, seem like they're just going to be supporting someone who's Democrat no matter what. That blue no matter who business. I fucking hate that. So I think having a little bit of division is a good thing. The Republicans have division.
Yeah.
The Democrat Party should too, because I mean, this whole, I don't know, they're united fronting in the wrong fucking way.
Exactly. They're united fronting in the way of you've got to go lockstep with everything that we say.
Exactly. The Republicans are like that too, and if you don't, you're considered a rhino. So that so that bit of division is in the Republican Party.
I may not be understanding Outlaw Bill's question, but I think he's asking if my avatar is me. It's actually not. It's a deep fake I found online of Elon Musk. And the top
he's asking if you're you, though. I think he's asking you if you're you.
Yeah, me. He can't see anything on my phone.
It looks like Elon Musk dressed up as Baby Yoda is what it looks like.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because the ears thing kind of made me think of it, but like it doesn't look green though.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about deep fakes tomorrow, and I thought that this deep fake would be a fun avatar to use. So.
Indeed. I voted for the deep fake. I did.
I don't know if I'll do it justice, but I will try. I will try.
Oh, okay. They have their progressive versus establishment dims. Oh, okay. Right on. But I'm kind of glad to see like all the parties kind of fighting each other a little bit and dividing, because then it helps kind of, untangle it a little to see who's who and what's what. And so, yeah. 'Cause when people are fighting, you can kind of learn about them because they're more likely to tell on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It was a very tough crowd for a room of people you have to assume all voted for Biden 4 years ago. Deputy National Security Advisor John Feiner said of concerns he had from voters before a Jewish American Heritage Month event at the White House. Whoops. So yeah.
Well,
because there's going to be a lot of Jewish people who do not like how things have been going and will vote differently because Biden has made a fucking mess of it. Because
really
even when he's like, we're going to not send weapons, he turned around and sent weapons anyway. Like, he's not going to do jack shit.
Well, I don't think his handlers quite know how to handle the situation, and in a way, I don't blame them. It's a big shit show, but
it is an absolute shit show. But maybe like they should just never been involved. Of course, that goes back years.
Yeah.
And then, all right, and so that article was talking about the rise of anti-Semitism. So I couldn't help when I found this. So Biden responds to an alleged racist attack on a Palestinian American 3-year-old girl. Well, there's a little more to that than they're showing. It was that. All right, here we go. President Biden on Monday weighed in after a 42-year-old Texas woman was accused of. It's not just she's a Zionist. They were trying to claim she was Muslim, but she's not. She's actually Jewish. They were trying so hard to cover that up. They were skittering all over the place, figuring out how to fucking report that.
That's crazy.
She got into an argument with a Palestinian woman. All right, and it says alleged that a 42-year-old Texas woman was accused of trying to drown a Palestinian American girl at a swimming pool. The president said in the post on X, formerly known as Twitter, that he was deeply disturbed. No child should ever be subject to a violent attack. Oh, absolutely. So this woman got in an argument with this Palestinian mom. And I guess, there was two different stories. One of them is she scratched the 6-year-old boy or something, and mom was tending to the child's arm. And then the woman went to try to drown that woman's 3-year-old daughter by throwing her into the pool with her. Like, she went into the pool.
My gosh.
And another story is claiming that she grabbed both the kids and tried to drown them. And the Palestinian mom had to jump in and stop the woman, and other people were jumping in to stop her too. So, and our media and our government has made it seem it's okay to cheer for all these Palestinian kids getting killed. So this stupid bitch probably thought she could do it here.
Yeah.
The fact that you'd even want to is fucking bonkers. Never mind it.
You shouldn't go after the kids. I understand having some dark thoughts and feelings, but one, I think that there's a limit to how much you should act them out, and two, kids are totally off limits.
They should be, yes.
Sorry.
And remember, this is what I was talking about the other day. There needs to be a line in your mind where you will not cross. Mm-hmm. This bitch clearly doesn't have that.
Yeah.
The girl and her family are Muslim, and they were confronted while her mother was wearing a hijab. I'm assuming while they were at the pool. According to Euless police, the 3-year-old girl was playing at the pool with her 6-year-old brother and mom when they were confronted by a 42-year-old Elizabeth Wolf. I know that anybody can be any religion, but Wolf does not sound like a Muslim name. Just saying.
No,
anybody could technically convert, but I'm just saying, the news was trying to paint the attacker as being Muslim as well, because then it doesn't sound like a hate crime.
Who's
the girl's mother,
Elizabeth Wolf? Sorry.
Right. The girl's mother told police that Wolf asked where she was from and if the children were hers before grabbing the boy. He pulled away, and then Wolf grabbed the 3-year-old and forced her under the water.
Wow.
So the cowardly bitch was too scared to actually take on the mom herself, couldn't handle the 6-year-old, so she decided to go after the 3-year-old. What a piece of cowardly shit. Yeah. Her mother pulled her from the water, and both children were evaluated and cleared by medics, authorities say. Wolf was arrested on suspicion of public intoxication and later charged with attempted capital murder and injury to a child, as she should.
Yep.
The mother of the two children stated that Wolf made statements about her not being an American and other racial statements. Wow. You can't just leave people to mind their business and let them hang out with their kids, you know?
No.
According to CARE, According to CARE, as Wolf was being arrested, she allegedly shouted to bystanders who were comforting the mother, "Tell her I will kill her. I will kill her whole family." Wow. Maybe she's going for that insanity plea. In a statement provided by CARE, the mother said the daughter remains traumatized. I bet that poor baby. We are American citizens originally from Palestine. I don't know where to go to feel safe with my kids. My country is facing war and we're facing hate here. Yeah, so people are complaining that the rise of anti-Semitism is people protesting. The rise of Palestinian hatred is involving trying to drown people's children. So I feel like there's a big fucking difference between having your feelings hurt and not even be able to hang out at the pool with your children without some crazy bitch trying to kill your children. That's fucking, yeah, so, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there is some shit that's probably not getting in the news, but still, like, someone's like, those protests on college campuses hurt my feelings. Like, that 3-year-old's traumatized, so cry me a fucking river,
Yes, Outlaw Bill. It is, in fact, Curtis, the tired blogger, that's here with Moira Kitty. So.
Meow meow.
And BK Dan has been following the UK elections on July the 4th.
I have actually not been.
There's
so much going on, it's hard to keep track of everybody.
And welcome back, Mac Cheatwood. He got his babies fed.
Yay! Woo-hoo.
Good guys won this time.
So yeah, that's so fucked up. Like, that's crazy. I mean, the piece of shit coward didn't even go after the actual other adult. She had to go after a 3-year-old. What a piece of shit.
I've known some folks like that.
That's just so amazingly fucked. And then she was stupid enough, which, I mean, her stupid knows no bounds, stupid enough to yell, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to kill your whole family as she's being arrested. What? You're not a dumb cunt. Oh my God. She deserves whatever they do to her, except for like releasing her. Ugh.
Yep, that's fucked up, Miss Frosty. It
Indeed.
Sure is.
U.S. Supreme Court gives pharma companies a chance to thwart terrorism funding lawsuit. Oh, I have no idea, but this sounds interesting.
What?
No.
I don't think there's any good guys in that whole statement.
I don't think there is either. The U.S. Supreme Court gave a boost on Monday to a challenge by 21 pharmaceutical and medical equipment companies led by AstraZeneca to a lawsuit accusing them of illegally helping fund terrorism that killed or injured hundreds of Americans, troops, and civilians in Iraq. Ooh. What?
Hey.
Oh. Goodness. Someone get the Starburst. This is juicy. The justice threw out the lower court's ruling that revived a lawsuit brought by military personnel and civilians who said that they were harmed in 2005 to 2011 in the Iraq War. The justices asked the lower court to reconsider the case. Hundreds of American service members and civilians and their families sued the defendant companies, part of the 5 corporate families: AstraZeneca, Pfizer, GE Healthcare, USA, Johnson & Johnson, and La Roche. The plaintiffs accused the major U.S. and European pharmaceutical companies and device makers of providing corrupt payments to Hezbollah, sponsored militia group, in order to obtain medical supplies contracts from Iraq's health minister. The fuck? The plaintiff alleged that the militia group controlled the health ministry. The lawsuit, brought in 2017 in federal court in Washington, seeks unspecified damages under the Anti-Terrorism Act, a federal law that lets Americans pursue claims to an act of international terrorism. What the fuck?
Okay.
That is wild. What the shit? I mean, I knew those companies were shisty, but like, it just gets wilder. Like,
I remember one of the conservative talk radio people that I used to listen to. He made claims like that a lot. That basically the pharmaceutical companies are really horrible things, and are funding some really horrible things.
Well, I guess your friend was right.
Well, maybe. And I never met the guy. He's one of the. I hate to mention the name because I'm scared that I'll lose half the audience. But yeah, he had some very savage things to say about pharmaceutical companies.
That sounds awesome. He's probably right. But it says the lawsuit was brought in 2017. It's funny how all these motherfuckers up here, these specific motherfuckers, and that specific motherfucker, were doing their wild shit, making billions of dollars in 2020 and on from the shit that was going on, and nobody brought up this lawsuit. No one mentioned this to ruin their credibility.
I guess
think that's-
I'm not familiar with that channel or that person, but Faron did this story the other day, according to BK Dan. Sorry, I'm not meaning to.
Wow, I did not know that. That is
just
cool.
relaying his message in the chat. And Matt Cheatwood, we could do several episodes on how lawyers will find plaintiffs and sue for damages in the process, charging so much in court fees that the lawyers end up with virtually the entire settlement.
Yeah, that's fucking shitty as all get. That's crazy.
I'm a book person, right? So the whole reason I'm bringing this up is that goes all the way back to Charles Dickens' Hard Times. Or Bleak House. I'm sorry, Bleak House. The whole premise is this multi-generational lawsuit's been going on, and then by the time the judges finally come around to declaring someone to have won the suit, it's all gone. The court fees took all of it. So
Right.
spoiler alert, if you're going to read the book, that's how it ends.
Oh, it says a federal trial judge in 2020 dismissed the lawsuit. In 2020, yeah, when they were those companies were about to gear up and make a shit ton of money. I wonder how much that judge got paid. And then it was over 2022. It was overturned that the District Columbia Circuit in 2022 overturned that decision and let the case move ahead. So I feel like 2020 is not a coincidence. They were probably doing that so they wouldn't lose any credibility while they were trying to sell a bunch of shit, because billions were on the line. Now this I found super fucking weird. Iranian parliament proposed labeling Canadian Army as terrorist group. The fucking Canadians instead of the U.S. Fuck.
What?
I know. Iranian lawmakers introduced a motion on Sunday to label the Canadian Army as a terrorist entity, according to the state-run Islamic Republic news agency. This follows Canada's recent designation of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Group as a terrorist organization. Oh, okay, that's why they did it. Like, well, you do it to me, I'll do it to you. All right. The motion was presented during an open session in Tehran, where the Iranian parliament reacted to Canada's declaration on Wednesday. The new measure mandates the Iranian government to categorize the Canadian Army and affiliated armed and security forces as terrorist organizations. I mean,
Well, the Iranian government and Canadian farmers, I completely see the connection.
I
Matt
think that's
Cheatwood's-
wild.
Isn't it? Canada and their Geneva checklist. That's what Matt Cheatwood's saying. And BK Dan is saying South Park had it right. Blame Canada.
CNN faces defamation suit over Afghan withdrawal story. Evidence of actual malice. Like, dun, dun, dun.
I want to know what this is all about.
Right. CNN faces a defamation lawsuit over a 2021 story centered around the chaotic Afghan withdrawal as the network gears up for Thursday presidential debate between Biden and former President Trump. Judges with the First District Appeal for the state of Florida ruled on the 12th that the plaintiff, Zachary Young, offered enough evidence that he was able to move forward with a defamation suit against CNN for punitive damages. Young alleges that CNN smeared his security consulting company, Nemerix Enterprise, by implying it illegally profited when helping people flee Afghanistan during the Biden administration's withdrawal. They were trying to charge like a few $1,000s to evacuate people. So
I remember that. I remember that report anyway. Yeah.
I don't remember if it was $8,000, but it was a lot of fucking money.
It was enough.
Young sufficiently proffered whatever evidence of actual malice, express malice, and a level of conduct outrageous enough to open the door for him to seek punitive damages. I guess he's after more money. Whether Young can ultimately prevail is not the issue before us. Young, a U.S. Navy veteran, argued CNN destroyed his reputation and business by branding him an illegal profiteer who exploited desperate Afghans. You did. We fucking... Anyway, the lead with Jack Tapper, which was shared on social media and also repackaged for CNN's website. Let's see. Scroll down.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Young somehow affiliated with Prince?
Eric Prince?
Eric Prince.
I don't know if he is or not. I guess we can look real quick and try to find a connection. Sure, let's go up here and get his name. Copy.
Oh, yes, thank you, Matt Cheatwood. Thanks for reminding us. There, Moira Kitty has a pinned comment. She
yes.
Please help her as best you can to go see her daughter.
Let's see what we find. Well, it shows him, but I'm trying to find Zachary Young with him, and it doesn't seem to be mentioning anything about those two yet. Just shows up. All the stuff is just about Eric Prince. It's like nothing to do with Zachary Young, oddly enough. I don't know why it's just kind of ignoring that.
Well, Eric Young, Young is probably the small fry, so...
Okay, I think that's a different one. Yeah, this guy was found dead, so that's not that guy, obviously. Well, he was doing the same thing that Eric Prince was doing. I think charging money to get out.
Yeah, again, my memory may not be right, but it seemed like Eric Prince was either involved with that or was also doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was. That fucker's got to be in everything.
I watched an interview with him the other day about the possibility of a civil war, and he was, I think this might be why I'm thinking of it, he was essentially bragging that he had saved a bunch of Afghanistanis with his company, and I
feel
didn't,
that's so unlikely.
I have no idea if he charged or not.
Probably.
I assume so, but I could be wrong.
All right, so apparently it was said that desperate Afghans are being exploited and need to pay exorbitant, often impossible amounts to flee the country. I don't know how to pronounce that. Then singled out Young, putting a picture of his face on the screen and saying that his company was asking $75,000 to transport a vehicle of passengers to Pakistan for $14,500 per person to end up in the United Arab Emirates. Prices got me thinking that Prince. Price was well beyond reach for most Afghans.
Or most Americans, but anyway.
We got Young's number and called, but he didn't pick up. In a text message, he told CNN that Afghans trying to leave are expected to have sponsors pay for them. If someone reached out, we need to understand that they have a sponsor behind them that's going to be able to pay evacuation costs and are highly volatile and based in environmental realities. Young repeatedly declined to break down the cost or say if he was making money. Well, then I don't know why he couldn't say if he was making money or not. Sounds like he's just mad they fucking put him on blast for what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And I guess maybe that money ran out and now he's trying to go get more money. Because that was in 2021. And now we're in 2024, so I guess he ran out of that money. No other people or companies were named other than Young.
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they weren't there. It's just they weren't mentioned. So doing that, putting someone like Eric Prince on blast probably wouldn't have worked so well. So they probably didn't. Or he just didn't know about it. In another message, that person offering those evacuations, Zachary Young, he wrote, availability is extremely limited and demand is high. He goes on to say, That's how economics works, unfortunately. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
before thanking
Hmm.
Mark, whatever his name is, for the report. Let's see. Young alleged that CNN used the terms black market and exploit and exorbitant, painting him as a bad actor preying upon. Yes, I mean they're telling. That sounds like pretty honest, actually. You're charging shit tons of money for people to get them out of there. That's crazy. Young proffered a CNN message and emails that showed internal concern about the completeness and veracity of the reporting. The story is a mess, incomplete, and not fleshed out for the digital. The story is 80% emotion, 20% obscure fact. Mm-hmm. And
Well,
full of
even
holes. Okay, then try to have some of the people that I'd like to see some of the people he got out there and see what they were charged.
yeah. Well,
Unless
that actually
unless
would
he's got
be
them in a
good.
situation where
Yeah.
they still owe him and they can't.
To be fair, I think that 80% of nearly all media messages anymore are emotion and 20% obscured facts, but it doesn't have much bearing on the case at hand.
Right.
He advised there were factual inaccuracies in the reporting. CNN published anyway, the judges wrote, adding that other internal communications show CNN staffers had little regard for Young and used profanities and disparaging language when privately discussing him.
Oh, okay. So they're up. He's up. He wants to sue them because they talked about him privately in a mean way. Aw.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said some shit talk shit about me in private. Oh no. Oh no. Well, maybe he shouldn't have been a douche. U.S. to Hezbollah. Do not count on us to stop an Israeli attack. Bitch, nobody's counting on the U.S. to stop anything.
Right.
Obviously. What the fuck? What a silly thing to say. U.S. officials trying to prevent a bigger Middle East war are issuing an unusual warning to Hezbollah. Do not assume that Washington can stop Israel from. Yeah, don't assume that they can stop them. Yeah, because we can't. Because they won't.
Yeah.
The American message is designed to get the Lebanese-based Shiite militia to back down and de-escalate the brewing crisis along the Israeli-Lebanese border. But Israel's been attacking Lebanon, like kind of nonstop, has been attacking Lebanon for like 3 months, maybe longer. But I guess they're supposed to back down and not do anything. You're supposed to sit there and just take your punches and not do a single thing. Wow. That's so fucking insane. The blunt message comes from as many U.S. officials appear to resign to the possibility that Israel will make a major move against Hezbollah inside Lebanon. They've been bombing shit for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if they had something to do with that one explosion that happened like a few years ago that left a huge crater and nobody knew why.
Right.
I wouldn't be the fucking least bit surprised. 2 U.S. officials told Politico that the militia needs to also understand that Washington will help Israel defend itself if Hezbollah retaliates. It retaliates. Look at that word, retaliates. Retaliate
Right.
implies that you are doing something because of someone else's action. Like if I just walk up and I hit you, then I've hit you. But if you hit me and then I hit you back, that's retaliation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in the thing. So they're saying they will help Israel defend itself if Hezbollah basically reacts to what Israel did. That word retaliates means to do something in kind that was done to you. Because otherwise you'd just be attacking for no reason. No, they said retaliates. So basically they're supposed to take attacks from Israel and do nothing about it. And if they retaliate, which means to fight back, then the U.S. is going to be even more of an asshole. So I love how they put retaliate. So they're accidentally telling the truth in here. They didn't say Israel attacked first, but they said it without saying it by using this kind of language right here.
Right.
Retaliation is revenge. It's to get back. So this implies something did happen first, and they don't want to say that part. So yeah, they stress that the militant group should not count on America to act as a brake on Israel's decision. It doesn't work anyway.
No,
Israel just does whatever it wants. It flips out, freaks out, lashes out at anybody nearby, and then something looks a little funny. He goes, "You got my back, right? You got my back, right?" And like, It's like it's like those children that are absolutely out of control, like a little bull in a china shop. And when someone else goes, "Hey, you need to stop that," the parent goes, "Don't talk to my child. Don't you tell my child what to do." It's that. It's that fucking behavior right there. But with weapons, it's that. They've been a bull in a china shop for 80 years, and America's like, "Don't you talk to my baby that way? My baby can't do no wrong." Like, yup, both.
Biggerford Entertainment has entered the chat. So.
Oh, hello, Biggerford. How are you? He probably agrees with me to some degree on this mess right here, because like I said, I mean, the word retaliates. That's hilarious. Israel, the U.S. will help Israel defend itself if Hezbollah retaliates, which means to do something bad. So it's not like we're going to help defend Israel if you decide to attack them for no reason. Yeah, that's not in there at all. Nope. So the message is being conveyed directly. The U.S. doesn't engage Hezbollah one-on-one because it is designated terrorist organization. Wait, hold on. The message is being conveyed indirectly. Oh, it's indirectly. So you're having someone else pass the message on.
Democrats in charge of the machines.
Whoa, my phone just it started playing that fucking video again. What the fuck? That's crazy. That scared the shit out of me. They stress that the militant group should not count on America to act as a break. America hasn't. It hasn't acted like a break. Like 40,000 people are dead over there. Like America ain't gonna do shit to help. So obviously, I don't think that Hezbollah is counting on the U.S. for fucking anything. They'd be stupid to. The message, right? The message is being conveyed indirectly because they're not speaking to each other. As designated terrorism, and it relies on public communications or intermediaries. I can't fucking read. I'm sorry. The U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein, I guess.
Something like that.
Yeah, because I had a teacher in school whose name was Mr. Hoke. And it looked like Koch, so I'm going to guess it's Hochstein, is my guess.
Like the Koch brothers are spelled like Koch.
Yeah, maybe. And other American officials have traveled to the region in recent days to rein in both sides, even as there's a growing sense in Washington, D.C., and beyond that, escalation is inevitable. Well, yeah. Maybe it's just time that a little certain somebody who's been acting completely out of pocket finally gets disciplined. I'm just saying. Anyway, Israel. All right, it says Israel's got to do what they got to do, says the Defense Department. Oh, for fuck's sake. Spoken with such diplomacy.
Having been granted anonymity.
Yeah. Yeah, because they probably, they don't want to have someone protesting in front of their fucking house. That sounds like some stupid shit Blinken would say. I'd say we just protest in front of Blinken's house. Good enough. Secretary Blinken is such a cunt. If he was here right now, I would literally take my drink and throw it in his face and tell him what a punk bitch he is. I fucking would. And then I'd wonder how he got here. But nonetheless, first things first. Israel and Hezbollah have been clashing at low levels for months. I mean, I guess, with exchanges of fire and targeted killings. It's amazing. So, Israel can target killings, but, they just, just mow the lawn, as they call it in Palestine. Okay. And that arose when Hamas militants attacked Israel on October 7th, because, like I said yesterday, apparently, whatever they did before October 7th, apparently that didn't justify what happened on October 7th, but apparently whatever Israel does after October 7th justifies it. Okay. And spurred the ongoing Israeli retaliation. See, they use the word retaliation here. Just the same way, because they said they were attacked, and so Israel retaliated. So when they mentioned Hezbollah retaliating, that to me implies they were attacked first. So Israel retaliation in the Gaza Strip. Hezbollah-Israel clashes have spiraled to new heights in recent weeks as Israel's war against Hamas has fallen in intensity. Well, that's because they're probably running out of civilians to kill.
Yeah, well, hopefully they are running out of civilians to kill. But,
well, that sounds terrible when you say it that way.
Yeah, it kind of does. But I guess what I mean is hopefully they'll get tired of it eventually.
Oh, they don't get tired of killing.
I guess not.
These are like fucking berserkers. The U.S. officials fear that a full-blown battle between Israel and Hezbollah, which, like Hamas, is backed by Iran. No, it's not. It's backed by Israel, and we've fucking seen the proof. So you can suck a dick right there. But anyway, it's backed by Iran, but is stronger and better armed. Oh, yeah, they're trying to be more careful since their opponent's better armed. It's so much easier just to mow down civilians, isn't it? Yeah. That's probably why they lost they were losing quite a few IDF soldiers because it's kind of different when someone's got a gun and shoots back. And better armed could tip the region into all-out war. That's a scenario that we have sought to prevent since the Israel-Hamas war erupted last October. Well, we should have tried harder and for longer. We think there ought to be a diplomatic resolution to the conflict across the Israel-Lebanon border. Well, too bad you don't think there should be a fucking diplomatic solution inside the borders, huh? That keep tens of thousands of families on each side of the border from returning to their homes. Spokespeople for the State Department and the White House National Security Council did not immediately respond to requests for comments on messaging to Hezbollah. Well, I'm sure they're probably trying to get their bullshit together. Because I forget what I was watching recently, but then it seemed to pop up in 2 or 3 different places. That phrase that Napoleon said, that what is the truth other than a lie that's been agreed upon? Yeah, that was popping up in random places, like it was a sign, like some kind of neon sign for me in 2 or 3 places. I'm like, what are the odds of me in a week and a half hearing that in 3 different places? Huh. Sometimes it's a weird sign,
Right. BK Dan is asking, retaliate, you mean 1,200 versus 35,000?
Right? Exactly.
And Matt Chitwood is bringing up that when mutual combat has been ongoing for generations, it becomes really difficult to say which side is retaliating.
Well, one of the things I do is I kind of look at what's being accused versus the evidence, and they'll accuse Hamas of using human shields, but there is an unbelievable amount of footage showing the IDF using children as human shields. Well, not just children. I mean, it's adults too. They'll be blindfolded and their hands bound either in front or behind them, and they'll be resting like a gun on that kid's shoulder as they're proceeding forward. I've seen tons of footage of that, and I've seen more footage of that than I have of Palestinians doing it. So not to say that it never happened with Palestinians, but I've seen a shit ton of evidence Israelis do it. And actually, I think it was in 2015, Israel told the IDF they couldn't be doing that anymore, and the IDF actually tried to put in an appeal to change that. They did. I'll find it. I'll go find it because the audacity, the unlabored audacity of that. So let me see what I can find. I think it's 2015. I sure hope so. Make it easier to find. 2015 IDF.
And Christopher Haynes is showing up, giving some cat emojis to us.
Meow meow. IDF appeal. Human shield. What would they call it? Law, I guess. I don't know what to call that exactly.
Policy, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I guess policy would have been good. I mean,
I don't know.
Let's see. I mean, maybe. All right. Let's see. Israel. All right. 2005. Oh, okay. So, my bad. It's 2005. I knew there was a 5 in it. I just didn't remember. Yeah. So it was 2005, not 2015. A court ruled in October of 2005 that any use of the Palestinian civilians during military actions is forbidden. They argued it. They tried to overturn it. Let me see if it does. But the fact that they had to try to go to court to ban it in the first place, it's
that's crazy.
So them saying that oh, we don't ever do that. It's even the Israeli High Court had to try to stop you from doing it. And I don't know when they try to overturn it, if they even try to do it recently or that same year. So I don't know how to look for that. I just know that they did. Let's see. Petitioners argue that the Army's use of Palestinian civilians is inhumane. Yeah. So Stanford Law apparently even had a human shields in modern conflict. So it even had that as part of like something they were talking about in their college.
Wow.
Right? That's crazy.
Matt Cheatwood, if I'm understanding it correctly, is making a joke in the chat. And he's
Oh,
asking, "Did somebody say the wrong thing? My browser just glitched out."
oh,
Um, and
it's possible I did because I was saying a whole lot of stuff that YouTube is probably shorting out and sparking as we speak.
yeah, Frosty B Rocks is saying MoFaz IDF to appeal human shield, and is suggesting that that's the thing to look it up with.
I saw that name a second ago. Let me try
It was
to.
covered. It was
Oh,
covered
there
by
it
its
is.
own media, Ynet News.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to get it or not. Sometimes it's. Oh, okay. All right. Petitions for hearing on human shield ban. Court rejects. That was 2006. Let's see. It was Supreme Court denied on Monday a request by IDF Minister Mofaz to hold another hearing over the use of human shields by Israeli soldiers in Palestinian territories. Mofaz is attempting to get the High Court to reconsider its previous decision, which banned the army from using Palestinian civilians as a human shield. So, like, and they've been doing it since then anyway, but, it's really, yeah, especially when there's stuff going on, it's really hard to convict a soldier in the middle of the fighting
Oh,
of
yeah.
anything. So, but yeah, this happens so often they actually had to try to ban it. So when people are like, well, what do when they say, well, you support Palestinian, Hamas using human shields, I'm like, I think you read that all wrong, my friend. I'm not to say they never did. I'm not saying that, but it would not make sense to do that because they have that oh fuck, what is that? Oh, it's that procedure they do that if one of their people's hostage, they just kill them too.
Oh,
It
I'm
starts with an
not sure
H.
what's called.
It starts with an H, and my brain is just melting and
I have
shorting out.
no idea.
I know the name makes me think of one of the Silence of the Lamb movies. The title is similar to one of them, and I can't remember what it is. Shit.
Yeah, I don't even. I don't think I even know it because it's.
I'm sure somebody in the chat will tell me in a minute. I just cannot, the life of me. I know it makes me think, huh?
Frosty B Rocks is saying that, like we were talking about the other night, they blame others for things that they're guilty of.
Yes. Every accusation is a confession. Yes. I'm trying to remember, like, what it's called. Like I said, it makes me think of one of the Silence of the Lamb movies, but I can't. I'll look it up real quick. It starts with an H. Let's see. Silence of the Lamb series. Hannibal. Here it is. Hannibal Directive.
Oh.
I knew it made me think of Silence of the Lamb because they had that Hannibal movie. But it's the Hannibal Directive that the Israelis have that if you're like basically got like, holding one of them hostage and you're using them as a shield, they'll just shoot you both. They'll just kill you both. They would, because their concept is that it is better that you die than being held hostage by the enemy. I know that was such a weird way to connect that to something else, but I was like, it's one of the Silence of the Lamb movies. Hold on. I know that sounded super weird, but now you see why. My brain does that weird thing where, like, word association thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't remember what it was called, but I know it made me think of that series of movies. And I know that sounded so weird. Everybody like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Like that is what's wrong with me.
I just didn't know. I don't think I've even heard that term, sadly.
Oh yeah, you should look that up. It's a whole thing right there. Like, shit.
And Matt Cheatwood saying that sort of projection is everywhere these days.
Oh, amen to that, brother. Amen. It sure is. Ooh-wee. You are not wrong. So yeah, all right. So we got that covered. I mean, I'm sure there's a shit ton of other examples, but we'll just, we don't have the whole rest of the day. Anyway, but yeah, the audacity is don't expect us to come help you, bitch. You giving them weapons. Of course, we don't expect you to fucking help. Duh. Anyway, so this crybaby bitch Dr. Anthony Fauci is campaigning for public sympathy. Fuck me, you. Oh, that's so
Of
cute. Mangala's wanting sympathy. Aw, boo hoo, boo hoo.
He has become the hero of the left for some reason.
I think even that's starting to wane. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
they'll outright admit it, but I don't exactly see anybody posting quotes about him no more either. Like, you can usually
Thankfully,
tell when people have changed their mind, not necessarily by what they say, but what they don't say. Like like since like Israel shit got started to kind of get out of pocket, I've noticed that almost nobody. There's still some, but not as many people have a Star David like overlay in their profile pictures anymore.
mm-hmm.
They're not posting. They're not posting against it, but they're not really posting for it as much either. I've noticed that has tapered down a lot. Like there's still a few stragglers that still are like throwing their sport, but I think a lot of people realize that maybe it has gone too far, but they don't want to admit that it has gone too far, so they're just
Well,
not talking about it
that's
at all.
so. That's like one of my friends. God bless him. He does a YouTube channel too, but he's on the other side of it, right?
Right.
And they were talking about, we can't say COVID anymore, and that's because too many, and they put the blame on the people who are criticizing it.
Of course they do.
And
They're fine with freedom of speech as long as you don't use it.
yeah, I'm sorry. If to me, if the government had just handled it with transparency and openness, like some other nations did,
God forbid.
we wouldn't be here. We
Well,
wouldn't
I don't
have.
think any of the countries were actually being transparent. Almost none.
Well,
A lot
I've
of them were in the dark
heard.
completely, I think.
I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that I think it's the Netherlands. One of the professors who was actually he was in this wonderful debate with another professor about whether the government handled COVID correctly or not, and he was debating it on the government did not handle it correctly.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And he kind of made mincemeat of the other person, and I made the mistake of sharing that video with this friend, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not even going to listen to that. That debate's already been had and won."
Oh, I hate that. I hate that
the
argument.
hell it has.
I hate
It
that.
hasn't been had.
If
That's
anything
why I'm
ever makes me
upset.
want to resort to violence, if someone going, I refuse to listen to that. Debate's already been handled. It's like, really? It's not like the science is settled, even though like we're always discovering something new.
Yeah.
That is
And
so wild. Because like, think about it. When OxyContin first came out, they were like, "This is
mhm.
fucking amazing. This is great. No side effects, nothing. This is fucking terrific. We're going to prescribe it to fucking everybody." And I'm sure if somebody had said, "Hey, these pills are dangerous," somebody would have been like, "The science is settled. Be quiet."
Yep.
And now look, the science is never truly settled because something's always changing. Some variable is always popping up. And anybody who says the science is absolutely settled, well, I assume they don't science. And they're probably getting paid to science a certain way.
Matt Cheatwood says, in hindsight, it seems pretty obvious to me the government should have done nothing more than issue guidance
Amen.
for the most
Amen.
vulnerable to quarantine themselves.
That's
And,
one of the biggest amens I've seen
Yeah.
in the last 20 minutes. I don't know. There's a lot of amen moments throughout this thing, but yes, absolutely. They'd be like, all right, if y'all need some masks, here you go. If you need this, go over there. Just remember to wipe your ass and wash your hands. All right, have a good time,
Yeah.
folks. Don't sneeze on each other. And really, that's what it boils down to. The shit you learned in like first grade. Just don't, wash your hands and don't sneeze or cough on each other. That's about it. And respect each other's personal space. That's about fucking it. If you just, take the lessons you learned in second grade, you'd probably be fine for the most part. And that includes just, off topic, just not taking shit that ain't yours either.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff we knew, like really needed to learn, we kind of learned in like second grade, and everybody kind of forgot it as they got older. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, Matt Cheatwood, I was as well. Most of the whole time he was going to work every day, like every other day. I was the same. My industry is held to be an essential industry, so and I'm not complaining. I'm actually kind of glad that I was getting out of the house and I was healthy enough to work. But But yeah, basically the world got to deal with what I had been dealing with myself before during COVID, and now I got to deal with less traffic in the streets. So there it is.
Gotta find that silver lining. Anyway, so whiny crybaby is still getting taxpayer-funded security detail at SUV despite retiring from his $480,000 a year government job 18 months ago.
And you
I
know,
could just kick Jesus right now. Are you fucking kidding me?
That would bother me less
If he'd actually done a good job?
That, and if they were giving security to Kennedy.
Yeah, that's kind of wild that they're not, because that's kind of an insult, in my opinion.
That's exactly.
They're trying to make him look like a non-option. As long as he's on the ballot, that is an option. And I don't give a fuck what they think. Although I'm not going to vote for him anyway, because, well, reasons. But, like,
no,
but I think he has a right to be as protected as anybody.
Exactly.
Now, a top Republican has accused the former White House advisor, because I don't want to get kicked off.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a limit how much I can get away with, I'm sure. I've already just absolutely used my live streams to rail the IDF and everything else. I mean, this one would probably get me shut down because YouTube's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Advisor of trying to get sympathy by claiming extremists want to kill him, and he is the target of death threats. Oh, where's Justin Timberlake? We need Cry from a River. God bless it all.
Well, and again, I guarantee you Kennedy's getting death threats. He may not be getting as many.
Right.
But
he probably is. I say, during the publicity tour to promote his new book, God, whatever that's called, How I Fucking Failed Everyone Again, 83-year-old Fauci recently said that he is scared deep down that there's a possibility that somebody's gonna kill me. Oh, is it? Well, you know, if I was responsible for like thousands of people dying, I would probably look over my shoulder too.
Yep.
That's why I don't do that stupid shit.
Yep.
But that's just a strategy to develop empathy and sympathy and paint Republicans as creating this danger. I feel like that's a fuck around and find out. I don't really necessarily feel the Republicans made this happen. I think a lot of people just saw what was happening and meant, fuck this guy. And then when he came out and admitted that some of it wasn't even backed by science, like the 6-foot rule, like he just kind of pulled that out of his ass. He even admitted he kind of did, and it wasn't actually a scientific study on it. And then he claimed he didn't know kids were being told to wear masks. Really? Do you not get the same fucking internet as the rest of us? You didn't see fucking videos? You didn't see people like have news articles? You didn't see that? The fuck are you doing? You just like you leave work and go live under a rock? You don't fucking see the rest of the world? How do you not fucking see this stuff? Some of the stuff they say, oh, well, I didn't know. You look like a dumbass. You would have been better off just saying this is what we thought was the right thing to do. You would sound less retarded.
Yeah.
Tell me you weren't aware of something that literally is all over the place. It's on TV. It's in your fucking local Walmart. Like, how do you not fucking see that? What a dumb thing to say. Holy
it's called
shit.
gaslighting. And hugs back to you, Mima Flowers.
Yeah, Mima Flowers. Fauci, who is an estimated 11 million net worth, I feel like really just underlining that, is constantly surrounded by U.S. Marshals, whether he's at home or going to a TV studio to film interviews. U.S. Marshals are protecting his $11 million ass.
Yeah.
And he just wrote a book, so he's probably getting some... I don't know, he may not...
Who knows? Yeah, it's hard to say.
I'm not sure there's enough people who want to hear what he's got to say after this.
I'm sure his book will do better than mine would if I ever get around to publishing one. But
I don't know. At least you're not known for killing a bunch of people. Over the weekend, he was spotted arriving back at his home in his Washington, D.C. area in workout gear after getting out of a black government SUV. This motherfucker wasn't president. He's getting paid as much as the president's supposed to be getting.
Yep.
Like, that's fucking insane. How do you out there walking and your calves are wrinkled? How do you do that? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I mean, I've seen a fair amount of elderly people and their ankles or their calf never wrinkled like that. How do you wrinkle your calf like that? What the fuck? Like that, I'm finding that a little bit bewildering. I know that's kind of weird. I was
Probably
thinking
varicose veins or something.
I've seen varicose veins. You might have some of those like up here, like I'm looking at this, and it looks like someone put him together with putty. He doesn't even look real. That is
Yeah,
that's
it
it.
does
That's
look
it. Anatomical
weird.
anomaly, in my opinion. I've seen some relatively old folks. Some of them wearing those weird shorts and shit, and like those little golf shorts, and like I've never seen that odd. Like the calf is one of the few things I think that kind of don't wrinkle much. Like that's fucking weird. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I got stuck on that for a minute. 'Cause that was just fucking weird looking. Oh,
Matt, go ahead.
and oh, sorry, what?
Matt Cheatwood is saying that Tired is not known for offing a bunch of people yet.
Right? Well, I don't think he would ever do that. Certainly
No.
without the regard. At least 6 U.S. Marshals were seen with a fleet of vehicles parked at his neighborhood, ready for whenever he leaves his property, which, according to his real estate website, is worth $2.2 million. Their marshals' pin badges are clearly visible, and they are on call all times of the day when he needs to travel. Oh, for fuck's sake, you're treating him like he's a fucking elected official, like president or something. Oh my
That
god.
is also.
I'm
that
sitting here
is
helping
also-
people donate to my PayPal, and this fucker has killed a shit ton of people, and he's running around like getting paid over $400,000 a year for being an asshole. Holy shit! If you gave me $400,000, I guarantee you I could develop a safe vaccine. I know that sounds crazy, but I've actually already done it. It's on
Well-
paper. I don't have a lab to make it, but I looked at because they say, oh, there's not very many side effects. Well, okay. Well, that was the original ones. That's not the mRNA. But like the
Right.
original ones, I looked at like what the ingredients were. I looked at what each ingredient does, and then try to figure out what side effects would connect to what. And actually, I actually found the answer to it. Strangely enough, do you want to hear it?
Sure, what is it?
Oh, right. I'll tell you. Because why the fuck not? Oh, hold on a second. Let me see
Well, you
that.
don't have to, but
Oh no, I was just reading this real quick. Oh, need my flowers? Right. Oh no, never. He's quiet. He always kept to himself. Yeah, that's the start of the fucking. That's the true crime start right there. It's always the quiet ones. But no, all right. So basically, the stuff you got in there, your normal shots, not the weird shit, the new shit. Like that's the weird shit. I haven't had years to study that, but like your regular normal shit that we grew up with. So basically, it's got basically like an aluminum, and that is, which I think is a terrible idea. It's basically supposed to shock, finger quotes, shock the immune system into reacting, so that way it's supposed to, tap it on the shoulder, wake it up, so to speak, which is silly, but that's their rationale for this. And then you got thimerosal, which is supposed to keep the microbes and stuff away. But yikes. I mean, it's a safer mercury. It's not a safe mercury. You know what I'm saying? It's still not a good thing to have in the body. But it's supposed to keep the microbes away. And they use, a lot of times they'll use fetal tissue. And I looked at some of the side effects, and some of the side effects are very similar to people who have had an organ transplant and the body's trying to reject it. So I theorized on one account that if I don't know what the tissue type is for the cells that they're using, so it's a possibility that it may not be compatible with everybody. So it's causing issues. So I thought that instead of make sure that the tissue, the cells they use, is from a universal donor, that might reduce some of the side effects. Also, get rid of the aluminum. You don't need it. I say this because if something injured your body and you have an immune system in the first place, you don't need to shock it into paying attention. It's going to see it and react. It doesn't need it. Thimerosal, to replace that, you could use silver. Silver is an antimicrobial, and it's safer for the body. Do that, and I can pretty much guarantee a lot of the side effects people do experience from those would be gone, are reduced amazingly. So basically, that's it. That's basically like the 3-prong attack of basically improving their formula and making it safer. So, ta-da! I know it sounds silly, but those 3 things would I can guarantee would make it so much safer. And not the weird new shit they've made in 2020. Not that. I'm talking about the old-fashioned normal shit that we're used to.
Before,
Like, I don't want anybody coming after my tissues.
yeah,
Well, no,
exactly.
that's fair, but there's a lot of people who would probably be glad to, like, if they were still, like, give some cells to do that. One of the cell lines that are actually used is from a lady named Henrietta Lacks. And they took her cells without her permission. She died, and her family did not give permission. And they had been fighting the courts for the last 40 or 50 years about them using her cell line in shots. Yeah, you might want to look up Henrietta Lacks. I kid you not. I think it's Lacks. I think Cheatwood's heard of her. Yeah, my brother in Christ knows what I'm talking about. Amen. Another. But yeah, I mean, I spent a good 10 years studying this type of stuff because, I saw the arguments and stuff going on. I'm like, you know what? Let's see why this would happen. So I looked at what the symptoms were and tried to figure out what was causing it. Because I don't have a political agenda. I don't have companies paying me. So like, I don't have an agenda other than what's truly happening. And honestly, like they use the universal donor and just use like is it ionic silver or something like that? I can't remember what it is, but it's basically like silver that keep the microbes away. You wouldn't need the thimerosal anymore. And silver is way more accepted to the body. People even use those little tinctures of like ionized silver or something for their immune system. So it's well accepted by the body, and plus keeping it cool will help, keep it refrigerated would help keep, things from growing. So yeah, that's pretty much my my recipe, I guess. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe somebody can make that, and that would be safer, right? See, that's the problem with it, though. That's for sure. Like if I had a lab, I would. That would be cool. I could try to make it, but I'd probably end up dead like those people who made those engines that ran on water.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
You know that. Like,
I'm trying to remember the name. I read a book back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It was right after I left my ex-wife because I was trying to learn about my son's autism, and it was a book that was talking about the correlation between vaccination and autism, and now we can't talk about that anymore.
Right. But my theory to it is heavy metal poisoning, basically.
Well, that's what this book
it mimics a lot.
It
mimics some of the signs of heavy metal poisoning, and people are like, "Well, autism has always existed." I'm not saying that it didn't. And they're like, well, it existed before like the shots. And I'm like, yes, but also realize that people were using mercury to cure injuries. So people were getting heavy metal poisoning for a long fucking time. They were using mercury in the like late 1800s to cure venereal diseases. So people were coming in contact with that. And, also the lead pipes they were using for water in Rome. So there's been heavy metal poisoning and the symptoms that come from that for thousands of years. So of course, the signs of that have been around for longer than shots. Yes. But so, because if it's heavy metal poisoning, then it's not just, So basically that's my stance on it.
Matt says no pharma company will voluntarily develop a cure for anything if they're going to make more money treating the symptoms.
Oh, that is so true. Absolutely.
And he also says it might be aggravated by microplastics or some other environmental factor.
Oh, yes, it absolutely could, because microplastics are just pretty much everywhere. And since it's something that only in the last few years people have really started paying attention to, we don't know what the long-term effects of that's going to be. But it's something that it's giving forever chemicals. It's giving that vibe.
Yeah.
So, yes, I agree. Well,
have we thoroughly offended the internet?
Fantastic. The only thing we didn't get into, I guess there was only a hint of discussion of abortion, but that was because of Langford. But he was talking about what they were and were not doing. So.
Matt says another factor I think is relevant to the rise of autism is the change in socialization of small children. In my day, it was sink or swim situation. I had to, yeah. I mean, like,
Maybe.
I don't mean to criticize my son, but he could get away with a lot of stuff that I literally would have been beaten. And
Right.
I'm not saying that was right. I'm just saying that I literally would have been beaten for a lot of the things that my son did. And I never beat him, but
Right, I got you.
but
Ooh, excuse me.
well, we about done, or
Yeah.
do you have some more things to say?
No, I've depressurized. I didn't realize I was going to collect so many freaking headlines in the last 24 hours. Because usually it takes me like 2 or 3 days, but I was like, it was like 12 of them. I'm like, all right, fuck, I guess we're doing this.
Well, looking at the tabs I have for tomorrow, it doesn't quite look like your tab count, but I have a fair amount. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
your son is-
no matter what the mental condition of somebody, I mean, whether it's children, whether it's animals, whether it's full-grown adults of any kind, almost any time, if you allow certain behaviors, they're going to keep doing it. Like, and so it probably does aggravate things a bit.
Yeah, Matt and I were in similar situations when it came to our children. Well, I think I'm gonna head on to unless Raquel is doing the stream. I'm
I think she's not. I think she told me she's not doing it for a bit.
okay. Then I think I'm gonna go head over to Troy Pacelli's double feature and at least watch a little of it before I crash.
Right on. I got to get up and move around. I've been in one spot for too long. I'm like, ooh. So we are so glad that y'all came to visit us today. Lots of hugs to Meemaw Flowers and Matt Cheatwood and, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Broccoli and Bigford and Ruben. Oh, hey there, Ruben. Feel bad I didn't say hi to him. I don't think I did. I feel bad. BK Dan. Let's see. Outlaw Bill. Sashi. And the Colette Cats. Meow. And Unhinged. Ah, y'all are so lovely. We appreciate you so much. And remember, if y'all can donate to the PayPal, it'll be super appreciated. I love y'all so much. Let's see. I guess I don't have to really be sharing the screen anymore. I guess I will play the little outro.
Yeah.
Welcome to the ship show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. 'Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder dash.